Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show. And now, here's Jeff Crilley.
Welcome back to the Jeff Crilley Show. We all get a feeling when we walk into a building for the first time, and it's either warm and inviting, or sometimes it's cold, or sometimes it takes your breath away. A company that is responsible for those emotions is represented by Michelle Duncum. She is the Executive Vice President of the Faulkner Design Group. Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show.
Hi, Jeff. How are you?
Good. I'm fascinated by the history of your company because it really dates back 3 generations.
It does. Our company was started by Adrian Faulkner, roughly, I think, 1992. And it really stems from what I think is something that was kind of inbred in her by her grandfather. Her grandfather is a renowned architect by the name of George Dahl, and he is responsible for many of the buildings that we see every day. The state Fair Park over there here in Dallas.
Absolutely.
And in the University of Texas, as well as he was the one who actually invented the drive-through.
Is that right?
He did. He didn't patent it. So
that's cool.
But yeah, so we have a lot of creativity in our lineage as far as Adrian and her family go.
So, we just got through with the State Fair of Texas. When people were walking around those buildings, are we talking about kind of that neoclassic design, or what are some of the buildings that he designed?
Well, specifically, I couldn't tell you, but I know it was a large portion, if not all, of the area over there at Fair Park. But, George, he was a unique gentleman and traveled the world. And back in the old days with architecture, we didn't have any 3D, and we didn't have AutoCAD and all the cool things that we use to design in this day and age. Back then, it was just old pencil and paper. And so what we actually have in our office is really kind of a history of Mr. Dahl and his travels. And so we have books and books and books of his artistry that he actually went and detailed everything from buildings in Europe and Spain and Italy, and then brought all that back over to the United States. So what's interesting about Adrian and her family is that, we kind of joke because, she is somebody who you really look at and you go, boy, this is really a part of who she is. This isn't a learned skill. There is obviously a part of it that's a learned skill, but this is really part of who she is. And as I look at her sons, she has a young son who's, I think, 10 years old, and we can see it coming out in him. It's really amazing. He's incredibly brilliant. And just as he's around our office, he's there building and architecting things. And where does that come from? It's really something that's inherent within the family.
Well, I've had the pleasure of meeting Adrian, and she really does take the legacy that she inherited from her grandfather very, very seriously. And you've been with the company for how long now?
I've been with the company for 3 years, but fortunately, I was a client of Faulkner Design Group for about 10, 11, 12 years before. Wow. So, back in the day, I think everything that I've done in my career has kind of led me to this point of being with Faulkner. And what's interesting, coming from the side of being a client, what I saw was that Faulkner brought a unique and different value to the projects that I was developing. And so I worked with a couple of different developers, and what I realized was that my success was really based on the designs of the projects. And so, as you build a building, primarily we specialize in multifamily and senior living. Mm-hmm. And my background is in multifamily construction, development, and management. And so, we would build these great buildings, but ultimately they're sheetrock, steel, sticks and stones, as I say. Mm-hmm. And so the design was what actually brought them to life and actually gave them an identity. And being on the other side in the development world, it was my responsibility late in my career to sell these projects and maintain the asset. And I really attribute the incredible designs that Faulkner did, specifically Faulkner, for me to my professional success.
Well, you mentioned senior living, and that mm-hmm. market is just exploding right now. Let's talk about that a little bit. The housing needs of our parents and sometimes our grandparents, and then as the baby boomers age, it's just it seems like there's a never-ending sea of projects waiting for you. Is there not?
Well, let's hope there's a never-ending sea of projects continuing to wait for us. Yes. But probably about 10 years ago, we started to kind of tiptoe into the world of senior living. And where we are today, as a company, multifamily has been our mainstay up until just recently. And in the last several years, as senior living has come online, the design of senior living, in addition to just the types of senior living, has really just blossomed and changed. As an example, my daughter is actually working she's getting ready to apply for nursing school, and was just telling a story earlier where she's working at a senior living facility that's a little bit older, and a little bit different than what we do at Faulkner. And what we do at Faulkner is we are really helping our clients change what we typically know as senior living, anything from just assisted living all the way into the hospice world, where we're really focusing more on the design influencing the patient's well-being, and that is in color, it's in design. We're working currently on the T. Boone Pickens Hospice here in Dallas, and our designers have come up with an amazing, the property itself is situated around a lake, and so what they were trying to do is figure out some really unique things that they could do for healing and getting these patients home, which is the goal. But what they've done is they've taken the beds and designed the beds and the units and the entire room design where they could actually wheel the beds out on the patio so the residents can overlook the lake and enjoy all the surroundings when they may not be able to get outside. So in addition to that, it's really about family spaces and being able to bring the kids and the grandkids in and making them feel warm and welcome and not like you're kind of old school, maybe hospice facilities of the past.
I think that's really cool. My guest, Michelle Duncum, she is the executive vice president and head cheerleader of the Faulkner Design Group. Yeah. We were talking about senior living. Let's explore that a little bit more. I know that when a son or daughter is picking out a place for mom or dad, they really do get an impression when they walk in the front door. In terms of the experience from the front door to the back door, what goes into creating that feeling of this is a good place for mom or this is a good place for dad?
Well, it's really it's about the overall mental health and well-being of not only the patient but the family. And in senior living, you find most of the children are the ones making the decisions. So we found some unique challenges with our clients. It's been a learning process for us as well. But what we try and do is really understand what the children are looking for as well as what the patients are looking for and what the folks who are going to be residing there are looking for. And it's everything from warmth. It's everything from amazing amenity spaces again, things that the grandchildren, a place where the grandchildren would want to come and visit the grandparent and not feel like it's a hospital facility or something of that nature. But ultimately, we have an amazing group of designers who dream up the latest and greatest. There is no template for it. They are so incredibly talented. I can't sit here and say what the next project's going to be because it hasn't been thought of yet.
Wow, I love that. Would you say that your experience as a customer has helped you now that you're one of the bosses?
Well, let me tell you. You talk about being a cheerleader. I do something with my team where, we go out and actually visit the projects. And it doesn't matter if you're a front stage person or a backstage person. Our front stage people are our designers and our architects that get to interact with our clients all the time. And our backstage folks are our accounting team and our administrators. And we go out and we take them out on site. And, I do that in my role as well. But when I actually get to go out and show the accountants and show the office administrators how their work kind of transforms, right. I am giddy. So as a client, I had the same giddiness that I do working for the company. So it's kind of a weird thing. And I know they all look at me when I come back in staff meeting and I say, oh my gosh, I went to this project and it's just so amazing. And oh my gosh, you guys are so talented. I can't believe it. They're like, oh my gosh, what is her deal? But, being on the client side, being able to still have that love and passion for development and what we can do for our clients it's still, to me, just incredibly amazing. So, yes, I'm the main cheerleader.
No, and I love it. And I was surprised. I was on your website. I was surprised how large the company is. 700 communities in 36 states in Canada. And are you trying to keep the trains running on time? Is that part of your job?
It is. I'm an operations person. But, and those numbers probably are fairly outdated. So I think the numbers are probably even higher than that, substantially higher. Yeah, we work primarily all over the country. Even though our home base is here in Dallas, we have an office in Phoenix, Arizona, and another office in Portland, Oregon. And so Phoenix originally started out handling the majority of our West Coast business. But as business has grown, all the different offices handle all various parts of the United States. We try and make it make sense, obviously, for our clients and travel back and forth. But ultimately, we actually just finished our first project in Hawaii.
Wow.
So that was pretty
That's
unique.
cool.
Yeah. And getting things to Canada is one thing, but getting things overseas is another.
When you have a project in Hawaii, do you have to go check on it quite a bit, Michelle?
I didn't. I did check on it. Yes, I did. As did our accountants want to check on it. Our office administrators wanted to check on it. Our receptionists wanted to check on it. The architects needed to make sure that the dirt, was exactly perfect before the building was built. So everybody tried to get over there to Hawaii. I was fortunate enough to be able to get over there and see the project when it was completed. So it was amazing.
I know when you have a tight job market like we do right now, under 5% unemployment, competition for the best and the brightest in design has got to be fierce. What do you guys do at Faulkner to keep them happy and keep them motivated?
Company culture is incredibly important, and that's one of the things that we covet the most is our culture. And what we've tried to do is really let people who work with our organization focus on their own unique abilities. And really what that means is we don't customize the person to the job, we customize the job to the person. And especially with the technology that we use the latest and greatest of 3D technology, virtual design, all the great stuff that you see on TV. We do all of that wonderful design plus more in-house. And we design everything virtually before it actually goes into a project, so we can actually see it all happen. And what that brings is a lot of younger folks who are younger in their career, but because they are learning that technology in school. And so back to a little bit earlier, your conversation, the millennials, it is a different world. I kind of consider myself a little bit of an old timer. Not to date myself, but it's definitely changed. And so really making sure that people are coming to work, they're enjoying what they do, they're doing what their strengths are, and really creating a safe environment for them. We don't have a culture where people get in trouble. Mm-hmm. We don't have a culture where you have to fear for your job. We try and spoil them as much as we can, and we focus on gratitude. We have what we call gratitude gold, and it's really just an internal reward system for any time somebody does anything, and it can be something very small or something very large. We as peers can reward the other person for doing whatever it is that they've done. And so we begin our staff meetings every week focusing on gratitude, and we go around and everybody kind of tells what they're thankful for. So it's Thanksgiving for us every week of the year.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it's really a positive environment.
Well, it makes such a difference. I know as a customer, you can tell whether you're in a happy place or a sad place, and just having employees that are excited about their job makes such a difference as a customer, doesn't it? It
does. It especially in a creative environment, it ultimately shows in the end product of what our team delivers. And the creativity is, as you mentioned earlier, finding talent is very, very difficult. We look for talent year-round. We recruit year-round because ultimately what we want to do is we want to find the best talent that's out there, and then we will find a spot for you. So in different markets are different. Our Phoenix office, it's a little bit more challenging out there. Phoenix is not, just by industry standards, a great design mecca. But Dallas is a different story. So we have a little bit more talent here in Dallas just from a numbers standpoint. Sure. Of schools and that type of thing. So we're always looking for talent anywhere around the country. And we do bring folks in from the outside, other parts other than Dallas or Phoenix.
Let's talk about multifamily. Are there some design trends? Is it more open spaces? What are you seeing on the multifamily side?
Well, not being a designer, I can really kind of speak from an operational standpoint. And I think it really is kind of similar to what it has been in the past, but it's again about which you can dream up. It's about amenity spaces. And, people ultimately, right now we're seeing and have in the last several years, the baby boomers downsizing. And so, you have these grand houses and all of this square footage that you're paying for to operate and to clean and to, pay electric bills. And so now how is it that we as designers can help our clients design spaces to where your living space is your space, but it's not the space you're having to air condition and pay for. And then in their amenity spaces, use all those things that we want in the grand mansion, in the grand house, and design that so that the clients, the end user can use those spaces.
And I should just wrap up by saying the trophy case is filled to capacity, isn't it? I mean, you're modest, but you guys win all kinds of awards, don't you?
We do, and I wish I had a count. It's we're very fortunate, and again, I throw all the credit back to Adrian and my team. I mean, it's our team, not just my team, but I'm fortunate enough to be a part of a wonderful group of people that design award-winning projects for us. I would say in the hundreds as far as awards that we've won. Literally, we just won award for our project in Hawaii from
It's because they all kept visiting.
I know, right?
It
was the most researched project of anything we have done this year. So
That's awesome. Give us the website.
FaulknerDesign.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Michelle.
Thanks, Jeff.
When we come back, a nonprofit that ministers to the families of fallen soldiers in a very unique way. That's just ahead on The Jeff Crilley Show.
You're listening to The Jeff Crilley Show on Talk Radio 1190.